welcome back to my channel. My name is Denali and this is Midnight Makes. This is a channel where I talk about my knitting, my crochet, my cross stitch, sewing, whatever else I happen to be up to. Today's a little crafty vlog, knitting, podcast, whatever we want to call it. That's my dog, little bit. Hi. No, don't put your tongue in my mouth. Hi. She's waiting on her breakfast at the moment and wants my attention. Okay, so today is July 16th, I believe. I filmed this yesterday. The audio was terrible. I'm hoping it's better today. And I'm going to try to get this done before my son wakes up for the day and we have to go get stuff done. So, finished objects first. So if you watched my last vlog 2 weeks ago, my last crafty podcast 2 weeks ago, I had finished the boudoir jacket, but it still needed the ends woven in to be washed, blocked. I have not touched it since then, so it's still not completely done. I will show it off when it is. But I did finish my ripple blanket. Honestly, there was no it's like a baby blanket size, and to be honest, I don't have anybody to give this to at the moment. I just wanted to crochet a blanket and I knew this pattern, so I didn't have to look it up. And I only had 3 skeins of this yarn. This yarn is Lion Brand Mandala Sparkle in the color Draco, and I absolutely love it. I love the way this turned out. This is so pretty, and you can, at least on the screen, I can see it sparkling. It's so beautiful. This was such an easy make. It did not take long at all to do, and it was fun and enjoyable. For now, it will go into my box of, I don't know what to do with these, that I will eventually gift. So my next finish I don't have with me. I actually have two cross stitches. The next finish I don't have with me, and that was Another Year Creeps By. I'll put a picture up of it here. It's an ink circles pattern. I am in a Ink Circles Round Robin group on Instagram, and we're passing projects along. And I had 2 that I was working on the last 2 weeks, and this is my completion of Another Year Creeps By. I just did the second square with the, I think those were feathers. They look like feathers to me. They kind of look like peacock feathers. I don't have that on me because it's been shipped to the next person, because there are still quite a few people that need to work on it. I really enjoyed working on that one. She used variegated flosses, and they were stunning. I don't normally use specialty flosses like, that you can buy online. I've used the DMC variegated, but I don't usually buy the expensive flosses just because. So the next project, I don't have to show you what it looks like, is also in Ink Circles, and it's also for the Round Robin. And I got this as the last stitcher to work on it, and I got to finish it off. So this is Swimming with Scissors, also Ink Circles. I'm holding it the wrong way. It goes this way. So my quarter was right in here, right in there. And I had an absolute blast working on this one. The owner of this, Donna, she chose to do, whoops. Let me she chose to use the recommended DMC conversion on the ink circles pattern, and it turned out so gorgeous. And I have had this one, I own this one because as soon as it came out, I think it came out at Nashville this year, I knew that I needed to stitch it. So I so I'd already bought it. So for the Another Year Creeps By, which I forgot to say, my total, I also own that pattern, so it was in Pattern Keeper, so I was able to track my stitches. My portion was 1,711 stitches. For Swimming with Scissors, good Lord, I am tired. It's very early in the morning. With Swimming with Scissors, my portion was 1,232 stitches. And I had, like I said, I had a blast working on them. And those are both ones that I plan to, where am I going to put this? That I plan to stitch for myself. I think for Another Year Creeps By, I will do a DMC conversion, and for Swimming with Scissors, I think I will do my own DMC conversion. I like the way it came out looking with the DMC conversion that she has in there, but I have ideas. As I was stitching it, I had a couple ideas that I would like to try. So that's my plan. Okay, my next finish is a sewing pattern, and for my sewing patterns, I have not taken pictures of me wearing them yet. If you watched my last vlog, hold on a second. Sorry, my allergies are acting up. I had to blow my nose. So if you watched my last podcast update, I broke my pelvis on vacation, and I'm actually sitting down right now, but I'm on a really comfy cushion that helps. But because of that, I have been pretty much sticking to leggings and tank tops, and I have no desire, energy to put on clothes to take pictures of. So I'll get there eventually. But this is the Orchard top by Helen's Closet. It is a free pattern. I just did the little top version. It comes with 3 lengths. This length, one that's about, a little bit longer, that's more of like a tunic length, and then a dress length and the dress length has pockets in it. I just did the top because that was what I wanted. This fabric is a linen that I got at a quilt store that was here in Alaska, here in Anchorage, and they actually closed down a couple years ago. The owner retired, so she shut it down. But I really love the mushrooms and the anteaters and this little hedgehog with the mushroom on the tree stump is my favorite. So I really love the way this turned out. This is a little bit stiffer of a linen. I did give it a wash. Obviously I washed it before I stitched, the fabric, but I also gave it another wash with a little bit of extra fabric softener, and it seemed to soften it up a little bit. It's not as stiff as it was. But I really like the way this one turned out. It's super cute. it fits well. And I forgot to mention, this is, I don't know if I mentioned, maybe I mentioned, this is from Helen's Closet, but it is a free pattern. So you get the top, the tunic, and the dress. You get the top, the tunic, and the dress for free on her website. She has a couple other really cool free patterns. I love all of her patterns. So I just nabbed this one up quickly, and I didn't have a lot of this fabric, but it worked out to be just the right amount for this top. Okay, so my next finish is another sewing project, and this one is a dress. This is Vogue 9311, and I did view A. So this is like a 70s-ish style dress. It's got a deep V, sleeveless. Oh, excuse me, I apologize. Sleeveless. It's got a tie to keep it nice and tight in the back, and then it's got a little gathered ruffled hem. I did a few changes to this one. So the lace edging was not in the pattern. I added that in mainly because I absolutely love the gunny sax dresses that were popular in the 70s. So I wanted to give this one a little bit of hint of that. And they usually had quite a bit of lace. So I added lace around the collar, and I added a double 2 lace down the center seam. And then I also added 2 layers of lace right at a little bit above the hem. And I really love the way this one turned out. Another thing that I did, so the ruffle on the bottom was supposed to be bigger. I chose to only do 1 pattern. So you're supposed to cut out 2 of this ruffle. I only cut out 1 and just gathered it that way. I didn't want a lot of ruffle at the bottom. I just wanted a little bit. So I opted for 1. Also, this pattern is supposed to be a really, really deep V, which it still is a really deep V, but I'm one of those people that likes wearing a bra, mostly has to wear a bra. So for this one, I wanted to be able to wear it with a bra. And when I tried it on, it looked really good, but my bra was just hinting out right there. So I went ahead and pinned this down and just did a quick line of stitching right there just to close it up. That, I think that's like an inch and a half, if that, just to close it up so that I can wear it and wear a bra and not be showing my bra. So the fabric is from Value Village. It was an old bed sheet. I'm pretty sure it's a polyester bed sheet. I don't know what it is, but I like it. It's pretty. But fabric binding is, I think, from Joann's. And then the lace I got at, there's a little like Christmas store that in Fairbanks, Alaska, north of here where I grew up. And they're only open for like a month at like through November to Christmas. And they sell a lot of locally made gift type things, but they also have a little like craft thrift closet, and people will, the lady that owns it sells off extra crafting supplies. I've gotten fabric there, bunch of other things, and this lace was one of the things that I bought there. And I actually still have quite a bit of it left, even with doing so much of it. And again, someday I will get around to taking photos of all these things on me. Okay, so my last finish, I have loved the jelly roll rugs for years. And I wanted to make them, but the thought of having to cut out the batting strips, just no thanks, I'm good. So I finally gave in and just ordered pre-cut batting for a jelly roll rug. And I had this jelly roll. It was like a half jelly roll that I got at Joann's quite a few years ago. Just tonal colors. There we go, if you can see the whole thing. I absolutely love the way this turned out. I did have my issues getting started. There's some weird stuff in here. I did learn from it though. And I definitely plan to make more. I have another jelly roll that's a full 40 jelly roll, and I plan to work on that. I did just straight stitching. Normally when you're sewing jelly rolls together, you're supposed to do it on a 45-degree angle. I just did this straight across the seam because I was being lazy and I didn't want to have to think about angles. Also, I know that there is a way to taper the end. However, I like how, I think it's Chaotically Mateo. She's like the queen of jelly roll rugs on YouTube and Instagram. I like how she does hers, just ends it like this and then has her little tag coming out of it. I didn't have long tags, long skinny tags like that, so I just put my tag here, but I do like the way it ends here. This isn't super big, but it's perfect for under my sink for me to stand on when I'm doing the dishes. So like I said, I really love how this one turned out, and I love looking at jelly roll rugs online. So I will definitely be making more of these. I have at least one more planned. Okay, so that is all of my finishes. Thinking, let's go into whips. I will show, I'm going to go in order that they are on my notebook. I've been writing notes so that I don't forget things. I'm going to go in order of what they are on my notebook. And also, I don't want to have to edit as much as I normally do. Actually, I was gonna just show it on my tablet, but I don't want to have to scroll through. I'll edit. So for my birthday, I wanted to start Templar Prophecy by the Long Dog Samplers, and it's a big cross stitch. I have started this one before. I started it for my birthday like a couple years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago, and unfortunately there was a counting mistake and there was no way that I was going to be able to fudge it. And I had done all but the last page on the top row, and it didn't work out. So I had started it again after that and realized that I don't care for the border that's on the top and the border that goes along the side. So like the lacy border on top and then the Celtic and then the Celtic braiding that goes down the side. It just, to me, it takes away from the actual pattern. So I decided to go ahead and cut those out. So I'm working on this on Pattern Keeper. I haven't done any of the back stitching yet, but I've been working on this on Pattern Keeper, and I went ahead and marked off all of those top stitches and that side border. I forgot to write down how many stitches it was, but I think it was around 9,800-ish stitches that I marked off. And because I had started it before and started it on the like page number 1, I decided to go ahead and start over on the opposite side of the top this time. And let me get a paper. This is how much I got done. So I decided to start on the unicorns that are on that side just because I'd already stitched the other things years ago. Again, my numbers on Pattern Keeper are going to be skewed because of the fact that I marked off stitches that I didn't actually stitch. So I don't know how many exactly I did, but I got one unicorn in, the start of another, a little bit of this edging, and then this is the start of my initials. Jules, Long Dog Sampler owner, designer, she hides initials in everywhere, and in every pattern, and this is where she was hiding them for this pattern. So right now I'm sitting at 10,776 stitches complete and 17.94%. Again, that number's skewed. I did probably about, I'd say this is about 1,500 to 2,000 stitches. I'm not exactly sure how many, just because of me marking off pieces. So the next cross stitch that I worked on is Hel, and she is the daughter of Loki and Angrboda, I think. Here's a picture. It is a pattern. I can't remember who the artist is, but it was charted by Thread Geeks, and I don't believe it's available on her site anymore. I have not been able to find it. So when I started, this was at 6,468 stitches at 31.69%. If I have a picture, I'll post where I was last time. And this is where I'm at now. So I filled in more of this black. Actually, I only did 2 colors on this project the time that I worked on it. I filled in black, and I filled in these white stitches right here that are her hair. This is an 18 count white Ada. So is Templar Prophecy. This one I have just gridded with a water-soluble pen. So yeah, I just got in black and the white in her hair. Those are the 2 colors that have the most stitches, so I just decided to go in on them. Hang on a little bit. Sorry if you can hear my dog whining. She wants her breakfast, but her teeth are bad, so she has to have, her food has to be soaked. So this is now sitting at 7,126 stitches and 34.91%. So I did about 3% on it. This is a pretty small one. I think there's probably about this, probably down to about where the Q-snap ends is where the bottom of the pattern is. I've just been working my way down. But I absolutely love her, and I love that you can see her eyes and her face starting to come together. And I cannot wait to work on this more. So the next whip I have is a knitting whip, and I'm going to not turn the page because, did I not write this down? Yes, I did write this down. Okay. The next, everything's falling. The next whip I have is the Forest Park Cardigan by Kay Hopkins. The colors are off in this picture because my printer was running out of ink. So colors are a little bit off, but it's a pretty simple cardigan with some mosaic color work and a shawl collar. Hang on, I'm gonna feed my dog so she stops whining. Okay, she's been fed, so she should be quiet for like half a second it takes her to eat. So this pattern is by Kay Hopkins, and I am doing this with some cheapo yarn. This is the Loops and Threads Luxe Merino Wool Blend from Michaels. It is 55% superwash merino and 45% acrylic. I like working with it. I know some people don't like acrylic. You do your own thing. I work with a lot of wool, but sometimes I work with acrylic too. So I have a good chunk done. I have done the yoke separated for the sleeves, and I've started the color work. I think I have like a couple more rows left on this color work, and then this little bit repeats below. I'm using this dark gray. The Loops and Threads does not have color numbers on it. It just has like numbers. It doesn't have actually color names. And then for the accent color, I am using this yarn that you can kind of see it shifts from like a light green to a gray. It's like a variegated color, and I really love the way that this one is turning out. And I love the, good Lord, if I can hold it. I love the raglan seam detail. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm having issues with the pattern though. And the pattern was kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, it's not clear. And it's kind of over-explained, yet not explained properly. And unfortunately, that means I ran into some issues. The color work I started after the, where you separate for the body and the sleeves, because it was so hard to understand what she wanted where you were supposed to start it. And I don't think it makes any bit of difference. To me, the pictures make it look like it starts in the same spot, you know, where I did after the you separate for the body and the sleeves. And I did go on Ravelry and look at the other project pages, and I'm not the only one that had this problem. It was pretty much everyone was just separating for the sleeves and body and then doing the color work, because it was such a pain in the butt to understand. So that is that project. And I mean, I'm loving it. I love the way it's turning out. I think it's going to be beautiful. It's just, that was kind of a pain in the butt. So the next project I'm doing is a test knit for Amanda Lee. And it is the allium top tank. And I'll put a picture up here. It is absolutely stunning. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, I need to do it. And it's actually knit with either DK or worsted weight yarn, which means it'll be a quick knit. So I have this yarn that I bought at Yarn Over, a local yarn store in Fairbanks, Alaska. And it's from Baba Yarn Studios, who is a local Fairbanks dyer. This is called Raven. It's a DK 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And I absolutely love the color. So I did my gauge swatches yesterday and then got started. I say gauge swatches because I kind of had to do 2, though it was only 1 technically because I realized my gauge was off and then just switched needles. But I got started. I don't have much going yet. I hope you can see the amazing color. I don't have a lot going, but I am absolutely loving it so far. This was just, I was watching Julianne from Lovebird Lane. Yeah, Lovebird Lane. Bleh. Let me try that again. I was watching Julianne from Lovebird Lane Yarns and her, I think it's Lovebird Lane Makes on YouTube. She has been doing Tour de Fleece. So I've been watching her daily lives, and I was watching her live last night when I got started on this and didn't do a lot, but I got started on it and I plan to work quite a bit more on it. So other than that, you know, other than working on the stuff that I'm already working on, I don't really have any plans, except I've decided to go ahead and try to whip down a little bit. So I went through all my whips, and my son went through and added them all to a little tiny decisions wheel. It's a free app on, you can get it on Android and iPhone. And I'm gonna try to whip down a little bit. I'm not one of those people that really cares about how many whips I have. And if I want to start something and I haven't finished something, I don't care. I'll do it anyways. I'll start it anyways. But sometimes projects get left off to the side and they're very close to a finish, but they just haven't been touched in a long time. So I just want to work on some different projects and work on projects that at one point I loved and I would like to finish. So with that being said, I will insert the little screen grab of me spinning the wheel for the first time. And I'm going to let you know if any weird spellings come up. My son put them into the Tiny Decisions app and he was being funny. So it picked goblins, ghosts and goblins, and you can see the spelling. That was my son. The actual pattern is called A Haunting Night. I'll put a picture in. I'm not gonna get it out. The pattern's by Doreen Jones Cross Stitch. This is actually probably one of my oldest cross stitch whips because I started it not when I first started cross stitching, but when I first got back into cross stitching as a bigger hobby. It's done on an 18 count oatmeal. And I had decided long ago that I was not going to do the border that surrounds it. It just wasn't my thing. So I have marked that off in Pattern Keeper. And I did not bring the cross stitch to show. I'll put in a picture of where it's at right now so that you can see that I really don't have that much to do. I just have the stuff on the bottom around the witch to do. So it is sitting with the border marked off, so the numbers are skewed. It is sitting at 8,898 stitches complete, and that's 84.83%. And my goal is to work on it every day and hopefully have it finished by the next episode that I do. So hopefully it'll be finished by then. Seeing as I do these every 2 weeks, and that is probably the only cross stitch I plan to work on. I might work on my Templar Prophecy a little bit more because it is my birthday start and my birthday is coming up. So I'll probably work on that a little bit, but mostly I want to focus on Ghosts and Goblins and try to get it done. Okay, that is all I have today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, wherever you are, and enjoy your crafting. Okay, bye.